Good morning. It is Wednesday, October 28th, 2020. It's 2:19 in the morning. I'm on my way to the gym right now. I just finished reading a book by Reginald F. Lewis, and a lot of you will not know who that is. And the title of the book is, and I don't know how he came up with this title, but the title of the book is, Why Should All the White Guys Have All the Fun? And by that title, you would assume that he maybe had some ideas about racism or social injustice, or how things were unfair and unequal, because the title says, why should all the white guys have all the fun? Like they are entitled to something that the rest of us are not. And under certain circumstances, that's true. I remember when I got into real estate, a predominantly white business, a predominantly, if you went into a room of realtors, it would be 80-20. And even if you're a young black realtor, like I am, it would be 90-10. But what I learned after some time and after changing my perspective on things, it could be a room full of white people, and us as human beings, we will find a reason to judge you. If we line up a group of white people, blonde hair, blue eyes, we will start looking at your pants, we will start looking at your shoes, we will find something to separate you, to judge you. And so I started learning that whether it was color or the look of my shoes or what I was wearing, the initial reaction would be to judge. But after the judgment period's over, all people really want to know is, what do you have to say? How are you going to move this along? How are you going to improve the situation? And so I just figured, you're going to judge me whether I was black or whether you just didn't like the suit I was wearing. Let me become knowledgeable, because after you're done judging me, we're going to have a conversation about how we're going to make this transaction move around. So his book wasn't talking about racism. His book was talking about the plight of a black man who came from low income or mixed income. Baltimore, Maryland. And rose to be the first ever black billionaire. And you would have thought that this book was 1930s, 1940s, like something so way out there. No, he started his run in 79. He passed in 92. He was a procuring cause of some of the foods that you deal with now. Kraft, Nestle, Cadbury. And what he was talking about was having the strength and the power and the mental fortitude push through and go after what it is that you wanted. What he talked about was being a thorough individual. Because he believed that the harder you worked, the more value you offered, the more thorough you were. I shouldn't have said the harder you work, the more thorough you are. See, you don't have to work hard, you just have to be thorough. If you're a maid, or let me say if you're offering any service, I offer a service. I assist people in the process of selling their homes, their real estate. I assist people in the process of buying real estate, of purchasing real estate. And depending on my knowledge of it, depending on my ability to deliver on it, is going to determine whether or not I get business. My effectiveness. So you don't have to work harder, but you have to deliver. And after reading this book and analyzing it and seeing how thorough he was and how much he expected out of the people around him, he ended up dying at the age of 50 of a brain tumor. I'm kind of thinking his brain worked a little bit too much in overdrive, and maybe that was the procuring cause of this tumor. I don't know. It was very sad. It was very sad because in the black community, there's not a whole lot of people we can look up to that aren't entertainers or sports athletes, that we have the ability to say, wow, look at what you did, look at what you built. Like, when we see CEOs, we don't see them in that light. They're tied to something where somebody's dancing or catching a football. So since reading the book, I've kind of taken a different observation at the goods and services that are offered to me. And recently, I had some work done on a property. And I had to look at the job that the individual did 2 times recently, now that I think about it. And the person gave me 0 to no effort. Matter of fact, didn't even try to deliver at a level of excellence. I know. And I'll never use their service again. Never. But then I have people that I have worked with, that I've worked with for years. And one thing I heard about this man, if he can count on you to deliver, you are a friend for life. But if you couldn't deliver, you weren't even in the circle. Because it was more important to him that you were just thorough about what it is that you were doing than, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And it allowed me to look at things differently. That's why reading is so important. That's why reading the Word is so important. That's why reading about other great African Americans is important. Because what they do is they give you a glimpse into a reality that you never thought was possible. And all he really did was just be effective. Be efficient. Be thorough. And it allowed him to be the first ever black billionaire. Absolutely amazing.